Gordius of the city of Gordium and father of King Midas was famous for his legendary knots nobody was able to untie. The tradition stated that the person who would untangle them would conquer Asia. Upon arriving in the city, Alexander the Great found a yoke tied with this knot. The legend tells that after much struggling, he finally cut the knot in half using his sword. Other tradition states that he was able to untie it using a linchpin. No matter how this happened, or if ever happened, now the Gordian knot stands for a very intricate and impossible to solve problem. Today, a micro brand uses the Gordian knot as its logo, and I feel they have been able to solve one watch-related problem, to create a true, affordable, functional, strong and yet very nice looking tool watch for explorers and mountaineers. Traska stands for traipse, walk around, wander, explore without a certain goal or objective. You might find something interesting where you least expect it. This watch is made for the mountain, is made for exploration and for adventures. Hello, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to make a review of the Traska Summiteer Black. So this is not a sponsored review or anything like that. I don't get anything for recommending this watch or any other accessory. First, let's talk about the specifications. This watch has a width of 38.5 millimeters. The height of the case is 10 millimeters, and if you add the glass, it's 11.2 millimeters. It has a lock-to-lock distance of 46, comes with drill locks. The lock width is 20, and the weight with the bracelet is 132 grams, 125 sized to my 7.5 inch wrist. The watch head alone is 56 grams. It has 100 meters water resistance with screw down and signed crown. The dial is black with an embossed circle in the center. The metal of the whole watch, the head and the bracelet, has a resistance coating. I will talk about it later. The sapphire crystal has an anti-reflecting coating in the underside. The lume is BGW9, giving a blue color in the night, and the bracelet tapers from 20 mm to 16 in the clasp. It has 4 micro adjustments, double pushers to release the clasp, and the middle clasp is decorated, as you can see here. The movement inside is a Miyota 1939 with no date. This movement has an unidirectional rotor automatic winder. Mine is running about plus 3 seconds a day. Now, having said that, I would like to comment a little bit about the design. Let's start with the dial. This is a 38.5mm watch, but it wears bigger than that. The reason is because the bezel is very thin and the dial is wide and open. Under certain light conditions, the embossed inner circle makes the dial be more interesting and appear a bit smaller, but in general, the black version, this embossed circle is not that easy to see. So usually it wears like a 40 to 41mm watch. I'm guessing that the green version allows to be able to the concentric circle to be more obvious, but that's just my guess. Maybe you can comment if somebody has one. The green version can comment on this. The wording inside the dial, it's very subtle. You only have the logo and the Traska and name and the automatic at 6 o'clock. So it's very thin, very nicely printed, and I really like to have this dial this way. So it's very sparse, very elegant in my opinion. The color of the hour markers are a bit creamy, on the creamier side. The hands are white and match the color of the Traska logo and the automatic name, and also the mini track. The metal of the hands have also a creamier color similar to the hour markers. The reason of the hour markers having this creamier look is because of the material used to make it stick to the dial. Also think that the hands, the sword hands, are very appropriate for this kind of watch and design, and greatly improve the legibility of the watch in general in any situation. As I said, the bezel is very thin and it's brushed. It has a concentric brushing on the top and it's polished on the side, so it makes it look more elegant depending on how the light hits the watch, and I think it's a very nice bezel in general. I will comment more on this in a few minutes. The crown is signed, as you can see. It has a very nice grip, it's good enough. It's easy to operate, it's rather simple. You unscrew it and then you push it in the first position. Well, actually there's only one position, and you can set the hour easily. To put it back, maybe you have to be a little bit careful and play a little bit around to make sure that it's correctly threaded, but it works fine, it works okay. It also has a little bit of the lower part of the crown sticks inside of the case, so this adds to the water resistance of the watch, which is 100 meters water resistant. The back of the watch is screwed and solid with a serial number. This solid case back with no decoration, only concentric brushing, adds to the water resistance. The bracelet is a classic oyster style design, so it is very comfortable, very nice looking, and completes the package of the watch. It also has fully articulating links, and it has screws to adjust the size of it. It's very easy to adjust, and the screws are great quality in general in the whole bracelet. Also, the tolerances and the end links are very tight and fit perfectly also. So it's a very elegant bracelet with this decoration in the clasp, which is a very nice attention to detail. Everything in the design of this watch has the function as the primary concern. So everything that I described has a purpose, a real purpose. It's not only that it looks good, but it really functions as the type of watch that it intends to be. When you are having it on the wrist, you almost forget you're wearing it. It is thin enough as not to interfere with your mountain gear, the backpack, ropes, and anything that you carry on with you. The coating it has that makes it very hard to scratch actually hardens the steel from 200 Vickers, which is common in stainless steel, to 1200 Vickers. This hardening process is both in the watch head and in the bracelet. So this means that in normal use you won't get it scratched and will look pristine and new for a long time. Also, the sapphire crystal helps to this purpose. And when you are in the mountain exploring, it's almost inevitable that you will scratch or rub the watch against rocks and trees and whatever. So it is very important to be confident that the watch will stand those harsh conditions. Also, being water resistance means that if it rains or if you have to jump in a river or in the sea, it will continue working, so that adds to it. And as I said, the design of the hands and the hour markers make it very easy to read the time at a glance, which is the purpose of a watch, of course. It's a high contrast, so you can see it in any situation, and if there is little light, the lume that it has tons of lume, allows to see it in the darker situation and in the night. The lume will last all the night with this blue glow and allows to know what time is in any moment. And of course, one of the important things is that this type of watch, being so restrained but with this elegance allows to be able to use it in many situations. I don't think this is a tuxedo watch, too dressy watch, but you can use it in more formal occasions, in the work, in everyday exploration in the city, or almost any situation. So I think this adds to this design and the function of being able to have one watch, a grab watch, to do almost anything that you want to do in your normal life, and of course exploring. Now I'm going to summarize what I think are the positives of this watch, and for me there are many. The first thing is that it is very easy to fit. The bracelet is very easy to fit with the screwed links, and it's a very nice bracelet, very solid. The quality of the bracelet is equal to the watch, which is something that some micro brands forget to take into consideration. It comes in a very nice presentation with a travel pouch for added protection and usability, because it is great to have a travel pouch instead of only a case. It is very versatile, very elegant and sporty. You can use it in formal occasions, and also, as I said, and the main purpose for adventure, for traveling, for wandering around. And it's a strap monster. You can put almost any kind of strap. Because of the scheme of colors, you can use it almost any kind of strap. You can put it rubber straps, NATOs, bracelet of course, leather. There are so many straps that can be used with this watch. And if you like to change straps like I do, this is marvelous. This is a watch that accomplishes the function it is designed for. Legibility is amazing. This has one of the greatest legibility of all watches that I've used, and I have a lot of divers. While paying tribute to some of the most classical watches like the Rolex Explorer or the Tudor Ranger, I think this is not an homage in the classic meaning that people tend to diminish the use of homages, or could be the best way to pay homage to those models that we all love. But it has its own design, its own personality. I think this is a tribute to the exploring watches and the way modern and affordable watches should be. You can be very proud of having this watch in your wrist in any situation. The finishing is great. It has a great finishing. The quality is, I think, superior to the price they are asking for it. It is built to last. The clasp is great, the bracelet is great, the movement is very robust and dependable, and very, very important, and I want to really highlight this, there is a great customer support from the people at Traska. Really awesome people, nice to talk with them, they are very helpful, they will respond to any situation. I feel very confident and very grateful for this kind of support. Now for the negatives, and those are very nitpicking, and some of them I believe they're very subjective. One of the things that I'm not sure about it is the bluish hue that you can see from the AL coating underneath. I would prefer not to have this blue color, but on the other side, being so sparse the whole watch, maybe that's not that bad. I mean, it's okay. I don't know, I'm used to not to have this bluish color when depending on how the light hits the glass, but that's one of the things that I wanted to mention, if I had to mention something, of course. About the color palette, it's a 3-color palette. It's a clear white, creamy hour hands, and the hands are pure white, and the mini track, I would rather have to have 2 colors, black, maybe gray also, I will comment on that later. But yes, to have all the colors to match more precisely. It's nothing that really bothers a lot, but just worth mentioning. One of the negatives is that being the mini track so close to the border of the dial, to the bezel, and having the crystal the way it is, being a little bit vintage, depending on how you see the watch directly straight up watching it, the mini track almost disappears from sight. I think the minute track should be a little bit more prominent, more towards the center of the watch, very slightly. But I mean, that's just very slight complaint. So in general, and I like smaller watches. I like 36 millimeters watches. I think they are very elegant. I think this wears a little bit big, like a 40 to 41, although it's a 38 millimeters because of what I already said about the dial and the thin bezel. But it's okay. I mean, it's great to read it, and there's people that are more into bigger watches. And so being a small watch with a big presence, I think it's good. It is. I think it is great. But it's just that I'd rather have it a little bit smaller. That's all. I mean, no big complaint. Is there something that I would change, or if there is something that I could comment on this watch to make it look a little bit, different? I would say a few things that maybe can be taken into consideration or would be worth a discussion. I think that I would like to see the same watch with a little bit wider bezel, not as thin as it is, only a little bit, with probably the minute track a little bit more prominent. Thus, the hour markers would move a little bit towards the center. The dial would be a little bit smaller, just a smidgen, but that would make it look more elegant, more refined. There's another thing that I've been thinking a little bit. Being so monochromatic, maybe the automatic wording could be in the red color, adding a small, different view, more interesting view. But that's just something that I've been thinking a little bit lately. The black version being so dark, maybe it would be benefit from having either a different color, maybe a grayish color, dark gray, so that the light would allow to see more the concentric circle inside instead of pure black, or maybe a small, very thin line, printed line around the circle, maybe in gray, in a light gray, or even a little bit darker gray, would add more texture to the dial, and thus looking a bit smaller, not as big as it appears to be. I'm always with the same thing. I like smaller watches, although the size, I think it's perfect. It's 38, 37, 36. I think those are the sizes that I like in watches. But yes, maybe a circle, printed circle around the edge of the embossed circle in dark gray would add more fun to the dial. But I mean, basically the way it is, it's great. It's only something that would be worth trying, at least in the design desk, to see how it looks like. But I think that would be amazing. So to summarize, I think this is a great watch. It is amazing and will probably be one of my favorites ever. It's for me kind of a dream come true because I always wanted a watch of this type. I know it's not easy to create a field watch with its own personality, but this one achieves it. Traska has managed to create a field watch with own personality to bring something affordable, functional, and that people can really buy and use it as it is intended. And that's great. To having this type of very elegant, dressy, versatile watch, strong, tough, that you can use it in almost any situation, that's a great accomplishment. And as I said, all without being an homage in the worst sense of the word. It's original design, well thought, well laid out. I think it's great. Having this, you can feel proud of having it on your wrist. And I really believe that you have a lot of watch with a hair quality above the asking price. Reliable and versatile. I think I can recommend this watch to anybody who has an active outdoor life, hobbies, to go to the mountain and be able to have something that really accomplishes the job. And the people at Traska, I'm so happy having tried this watch. There's great people, and I believe they're going to bring wonderful watches in the future. Well, thank everybody for watching this lengthy video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.